We are back in the saddle on our shaman. So, where we ended last time, we ended off in Ironforge, turning in a quest, talking about talents, things of that nature. Don't know where that accent came from. But today we are picking up right where we left off, although I have traveled back from Ironforge all the way back to Dunmoreau where we finished questing last. We are level 10 now, which means we can get a riding mount, which is fantastic news for us because that's going to come in a lot of handy. Also, this light looks stupid, but... So, as I was saying, we're going to go ahead and come up here. We're going to get the riding mount. I'm going to show you what it costs, what it looks like when you get it, how to set it up for easy access on your bar and things like that. And then we'll get right back into leveling. And today we're going to be going to level 15 in this video. Any new systems that we come across, we'll go ahead and discuss those. Otherwise, though, we're just going to be grinding it right through 15 for sake of brevity. I don't want to spend too much time discussing quests and things like that. In fact, a lot of this video could just be fast-forwarded questing. We'll see how it goes. That being said, this is my riding trainer that I'm looking at Dunmoreau. If you're playing a dwarf as well, he'll be here in Amberstill Ranch. If you're not playing a dwarf, just a quick Google search will tell you where the riding trainer will be in whatever starting zone that you're in. Once you get here, though, you'll notice when you open it up, it'll show you apprentice riding. This is what we need to be able to ride ground mounts. You get a few tiers. You get apprentice riding to start, which is the slowest form of a ground mount. I believe it's 60%, but we'll find out in a second. But in order to buy this, you're going to need 90 silver. As you can see, that is a good chunk of what we've been collecting here from all the things that we've been selling. It's not everything, but it's something that I'd say is 100% necessary to spend your money on. Mounts are going to be the easiest way for you to get to A and B, the only way for you to get to A and B at some point. So definitely go ahead and invest in that. You only have to do it once on each character, and the more you play this game, the cheaper this really is. I'm going to go ahead and invest in it. You'll see you get the Giddy Up achievement. Woohoo! But all that's going to do is it's going to give you the ability to ride these mounts. Now you'll see there's a bunch of mounts out here. Obviously those do not belong to us. If you're looking to buy your first mount, it's going to be right over here at the Ram Breeder. The Ram Breeder is going to sell all these mounts. You'll see there's 3 here that are blue and 3 here that are purple. Obviously the 9 gold purple mounts are 2 things. One, they're grayed out, they're red, which means we can't use them. And the reason is, when you scroll over them, you have to be level 17 to use these. I already know them, but that's not why they're red out. But you do have to be level 17, which I'm assuming is when you unlock fast mounts now. And so fast mounts, obviously, they're going to have different versions. These, on the other hand, these are going to be the ones you can buy, 90 silver. As you can see, you still have that money. If you don't already have a mount, I would go ahead and buy yourself that mount. I'm not going to buy it again, obviously, because I already have it. So there's that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you exactly how to access your mounts now. So down here we have a lot more buttons unlocked here once we hit level 10. This one is going to be under this button here. It is called collections. Now your collections are going to hold a few things. We can go over collections. We'll go over it right now. Why not? We're already here. It's pretty simple as well. Now you've already seen one of these, and I'll start by talking about this tab. The battle pets that we did in the last episode. This is where your battle pets are. I have a good amount of battle pets unlocked, 214 as you can see here, but there are so fucking many that I don't have that you can find, things like that. They're all fun, stuff like that, but this is where you would find those pets. Next we'll look at the toy box. The toy box, you can get a lot of fun collectible toys and stuff throughout Azeroth and every single expansion. They all do different things. I'll show some off. Because I do think that they are kind of fun. So, looking at some toys that I have here, they'll all tell you exactly what they do. For instance, Kenken's mask puts Kenken's mask on a friendly target. So if I click this toy, what it's going to do is nothing because I just put it on this guy. I thought I was going to put it on myself. You see he's wearing that mask now. And that's fine. It's silly, but it's fun. So I'll show you a couple more toys just because I think they're cool, and I never actually opened this screen. They're just kind of a silly little thing. Some of them do have level requirements. Why? I don't know, but they do. This one is cool. It's a Maruk cooking pot, which you get from the newest expansion. The reason this is cool is, as you'll see, it allows cooking. So if you have the cooking profession, which I talked about in the last video, I did not pick up on this guy. But if you have cooking, you can actually use this as your cooking fire instead of the standard fire. Not really any benefit to it otherwise. It just looks cool. You know, it's a cool thing you can do. A couple other things. You can equip this crazy thing to your back. And you can see right up here in the top right that it shows you how long the effects last from it. If you don't want it to stay equipped to you, you can just right click that, it'll get rid of it. Still can't use it for another 10 minutes, but that's how you get rid of it. And then stuff like this, it just summons this cool guy. You can't get rid of him, but he is there. I am thankful. Thank you, Vashyak. So yeah, different toys like that. Absolutely no benefit to the game whatsoever. They're just fun. You know, some of them came from different events. Some of them came from, I don't know, one of them came from Mountain Dew, you know what I mean? So, you know, different things you can do with those, but they're fun. They are pretty silly. You can use this one and just kind of chill. You can chill in your comfortable pile of pelts. You know, how comfy. And I'm sitting right on that fire, which feels silly. But yeah, so like I said, nothing too crazy here. Toys are cool. Heirlooms. This is one thing that I know you probably saw me put in the first video where I said no heirlooms. Heirlooms are things that you can wear on every alt you make. You don't have to keep buying them. They're always available for you in this collection screen. You'll see they are item level 26, which if you were to compare it to what I'm wearing now is quite a bit higher, of course. I'm wearing 6'4", whatever. But they're also able to be worn from level 1 to 49. So considering we're going to 60, these would be really good for a while. You can upgrade them now to go to 60, and I think they're even releasing ones that will go to 70 in this upcoming patch. Now, what these do is a few things, but you'll see if you're wearing, and I can't really scroll my mouse over it, but if you're wearing 2 pieces of this, which you can see represented by the number 2 under the list of things in this set, it says rest experience consumed is reduced by 30 experience. What rested experience is when you log out in an inn, like we've been doing, you know, you hearth back to the inn and you log out, you gain rested experience as long as you are there. And, you know, whether you're online, offline, as long as you're in the inn, you gain rested experience. The longer you're there, the more you get rested experience. And you can read it here on the right side of the screen. Rested is 200% of normal experience gained from monsters. So when you're leveling, rested experience is huge. What this is doing is it's reducing the amount that you are consuming that rested experience with every kill, meaning you're still getting the maximum amount of reputation, the 200%, but you're not getting rid of that bar nearly as fast. So essentially more rested XP means more experience for you in general. The 3 set increases out of combat regeneration, and that means health, mana, things like that. So when you're not fighting, your health and mana and stuff are regenerating faster. A 5 set is going to be gaining a level, triggers a burst of knowledge, dealing holy damage to nearby enemies, and granting you 40% agility for 2 minutes, which we have a little bit of agility right now. I have not gone over main stats or secondary stats yet. But agility, as you can see, is something that we very much like. Increases the magnitude of your attacks and abilities. Agility is going to directly affect the amount of damage you're doing. Different things like that. Also the speed that you're doing them. So that's pretty cool. That is a really, really nice bonus, actually. A nice buff. Defeating enemies extends this effect by up to an additional 2 minutes as well. So up to 4 minutes of 40% increase in agility is massive. And then the 6 set, rested experience consumed is reduced by an additional 30%. So obviously, that's massive. There's only 7 pieces in this whole set for the heirloom. You can wear 6 pieces and then make the other one not heirloom if you wanted to. You know, one of them might be harder to get, like the ring. So you wear the other ones and things like that. But as you can see, they're not automatically unlocked. You do have to do things to unlock them. A lot of these will show you at the bottom here where to unlock them, what you have to do to get them, which is cool. You know, I've decided not to use heirlooms in this playthrough. Yes, it makes the leveling process a lot less long, But I wanted, again, this to be as organic as possible. I wanted it to feel like my first time leveling a character. I didn't want to run through the first 50 levels as fast as possible to get to the end. I wanted to show you everything you can expect, you know, as you're doing it, before you do it, you know, while you're doing it, after you're doing it, so you can compare and contrast whatever it is. I want it to be as organic as possible. So these are heirlooms. I'm not using them in this one, but they are very, very useful, very cool. A lot of good benefits for you as for an alt, things like that. You also have the appearances tab. I talked a little bit about this in the previous video with transmogrification. You can transmog your items to look different ways. This is going to show you every single transmog that you have unlocked for all of these sets. So for instance, like if I'm like, oh, what does this look like? You can control click, left click, and it'll show you exactly what it looks like while you're wearing this piece. And if you do have ways to transmog into these things as well. Once again, I wouldn't recommend doing it early because it costs money and I don't want you to waste your money. You also have the sets option here, which will show you every single full set that you can unlock from different things. You can filter it for PvP, you can filter it for both PvE and PvP, or just PvE, whatever it is. Also, you can sort it by the ones you just have collected or the ones you have not collected only. So very useful to know that. Anyway, so this is what the appearances tab is just going to show you everything. I spend a lot of time in here just looking at the different sets that you can get. I think that some of them are really cool. I'm really liking these new mythic sets for shamans, actually, from the newest raid. Oh my, something's going on here and I don't know what. I'm going to pretend like it's not. I'm not going to help. Sorry. Anyway, I'm really liking these new sets from the new raid in the game. Or I guess the raid that came out with the game, or with the Dragonflight expansion, but I think they look really cool. This is the PvP version, which is sick as hell. Okay, I'm going to do this all day if I don't stop, so I'm going to stop doing this. Anyway, finally, the most important, the reason we even opened this up in the first place, we're going to jump into mounts. So mounts, it's going to look a little bit different for you. You're probably going to have one lit up one here. I have 54 mounts in here, which is cool. I've been working on collecting mounts for a long time. There's a lot I'm missing, but there's a lot of cool ones I have too. Maybe we'll make a fun mount video one time and kind of go over what mount hunting looks like and stuff. But for now, I'll just show you what they are. I'll show you exactly how to equip it to your bar, make it as easy as possible for you to get back here without having to go to this screen every single time. So now that I have my riding mount, as promised, I want this to be as organic as possible. So what I'm going to do is show you two things. First of all, the ram breeder is selling, let's go with the white ram. I already own the white ram. So when I go in here, for me, if I search white ram, it's going to bring up everything. I don't know why it doesn't just bring up white ram, but white ram's right here. You can see it's from this guy, bought in Demero, cost a gold, although that's not a gold, but maybe I have a discount for some reason. Anywho, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this as my mount while we're leveling, because this is the one that you would have as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, you have a couple ways you can do this. Sorry, let me get rid of this icon. You can, after you search for your mount, you can right click it and hit mount. You can set favorite, or you can just cancel, which just gets rid of that. So if you mount it, you're just going to get on the mount straight away. You can come in here and do that every time. It's not necessary. You can instead set it up to a button, or to, you can click a button. I used my mouse button to do it. So if I drag this picture over here to this mouse button I have set here, when I click that mouse button, it automatically mounts that every single time. Clicking it again will dismount. So that's what I do. The other option is if you start collecting mounts and you get all these mounts available for you, you'll notice in mine, for instance, all these mounts, if I get rid of this filter, there's all these mounts I have to choose from. A lot of them are flying, which can still be riding mounts. You can still ride flying mounts around even if you can't fly. And then you'll notice the big difference here is that I have some of the mounts with stars beside them and some not. These stars indicate which ones I have set as favorites. The favorites, the point of them is this button here. It says summon random favorite mount. So again, you can just click it and it'll just summon one of the mounts that you have favorited. You can do the same thing. Drag it to this bar over here. And then when you hit that button, it just summons an absolutely random mount that you have favorited for you to be able to ride around. Because I don't have flying, it's just going to be pulling my riding mounts here. But like I said, you can still mount flying mounts to ride. You do not have to be able to fly. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. But anyway, so that's how it all works. What I'm going to do for the sake of this playthrough is just use my white ram, just as any of you would be doing right now as well, to keep it as even as possible. With that absolute truckload of information out there, I'm going to go ahead and push forward. Let's go ahead and get ourselves started on this leveling process. The goal today is to get to level 15. Once we get to level 15, we'll break and we'll go ahead and hold the 15 to 20 or 16 to 20 for our next video. So let's get right into it. Alright, we're back again. I had to change cameras because my other camera just crapped out on me, but I think this one looks better anyway, so sorry, not sorry, we're back. Anyway, so, going back into what we were doing, we just turned it in this quest, we leveled up. The next thing we're going to do is we got a talent point from leveling up, which is a desert. And this time, I get to talk to you about the spec specific trees. As you can see here, there is the other way, shaman points available, and then enhancement points available. We're enhancement, shamans, other way, shamans, sorry. So now I get to put points into this specs tree. They are both active at the same time. They work together really well for a lot of classes. I won't say it's the same for every single class. I think some of them have some kind of shoe-in talents that they don't have any control over taking or not. But I know some classes work really well, and I'm hoping this will be one of those. So last time we put our shaman point into flurry because I think for me that's what I wanted, just kind of how I wanted to play it. And just to kind of show you, I could right click this right now and change it into anything or keep it there. So you're never stuck with your first choice. If you feel like you made a mistake, change it. You have full control, which is excellent in my opinion. So I'm gonna pull this a little closer to me. It's probably gonna get in the way of the shot, make it ugly, but that's okay. So getting into the enhancement tree here makes it really, really easy to know what we want because we have one option, Storm Strike. Now, what I'll tell you is for Storm Strike, as you can see, it requires one-handed melee weapon. As of right now, I'm still using a one-handed axe and a shield. I want to be using 2 one-handed axes, I believe, with this spec, which you can tell by going back to your specialization and looking here, dual axes, maces, and fist weapons. What that means is 2 of those, 2 axes, 1 axe, 1 mace, whatever. I don't have that right now. I don't believe I have an option in my bag that's available for me yet. So what this is going to do is Storm Strike is, you can see, replaces Primal Strike. This being Primal Strike is one of the moves that I'm using a good amount right now. Because I don't have the weapon to put here yet and make this work, I'm going to keep it, I'm going to hold off. I'm going to hold off for just a little bit. We're going to get a weapon here soon, I'm sure. And once we do, I'll go ahead and put that in. So, for now, we're going to go ahead and keep on questing. There's plenty of quests for us to do right out yonder. There's also some quests over here that I picked up already. We'll go do those right after we finish this little area. So my friend actually brings up a great point here. You have to understand something about this game is that once you've played it as long as we have, he has been playing a little bit longer than I have. So, you know, we've done everything in this game. At some point, leveling characters will lose some excitement. It'll almost feel impossible to pull yourself to do it, and that's okay. So, for me, I have leveled every character to max level currently, and it's because that's what I wanted to do. It's something I had in my mind, but that doesn't mean that you're going to have the same drive to do so. If you find that you've played a few characters and there's one that you're just the most interested in, and that's the one that you want to stick to, then do it. You never want to force yourself to, you know, level a character because you feel like you're behind and you feel like you should try, you know, something else because that's the best way. Just have fun with whatever you're having fun with. Don't force yourself to, you know, get into a situation where you're having a worse time to try and keep up and have the best character you can possibly have. Just have fun. You know, like he said, he's in love with his monk. That's what he's been playing. And so that's what I suggest to him all the time. Just stick with it. I mean, he's good at it. He's one of the best monk healers I've ever seen. So, you know, it's a good tangent to say, hey, this is all fun and dandy, but at the end of the day, once you find the one you love, stick to it. If you stick to one character, it'll make your in-game experience a lot better because you'll be able to focus on building that one character instead of spreading the love between 13, which I'm having the pleasure of doing now. Anyway, back to the video. Alright, so we finished those quests. Pretty easy stuff, killing stuff, collecting stuff, nothing unlike we've done already. Once again, we have a choose your reward. Just comparing the two, I could definitely use the bigger upgrade here on the bracers, so I'm going to go with those. And that big green flash around me means I am now honored with no Mergon. Let me turn this one in first.
How are ya?
Good, thanks. I'm gonna get boots for this one and another bag. And a level. We're level 12 now. That was a good one right there.
You got my attention.
You can see from this one we have a new talent point available.
Off with you.
Complete. And we've got a new quest popping up over here.
What's on your mind?
Speak with Sergeant Barham at Barham's Post. So that's gonna bring us just down the road a bit more. Looks like heading into this section here. We have another shaman point to spend now. I'm gonna go ahead and drop it in. I'm gonna drop it in Frost Shock because I do believe I could use a little bit of Frost Shock in my life. Alright, so I decided to use two of my heirlooms, and they are heirloom weapons, which actually don't count towards the experience gains or anything like that. So
What's on your mind?
I'm just going to use them because it's kind of messing me up with being able to use some of my moves here. I messed up and didn't keep one of my second weapons that I got earlier, so need two single-handed weapons to make this build actually do something. So, just so you know that that's happening, this is what they look like, my heirlooms. You can see there's just two big old maces on my side now. Only benefit they give is they do level with me up to 29, so Fine. We'll just do that. We'll roll with it. Because I messed up. But, nonetheless, let's keep on rolling. Much stronger now with all these, with Frost Shock added on here now, Storm Strike instead of the old move. Which Storm Strike, by the way, energizes both weapons with lightning and delivers a massive blow to the target, dealing a total of 90 physical damage. So just a really strong strike. Similar to the old move that we have, but just a little stronger. Now I can show you this as well. The rested experience that I was talking about earlier is coming to an end here. So this dark blue here that's showing you how much rested you have, everything after this line here is no longer rested experience. With the heirloom set on, this would kind of, every time you got experience, this would move up a little bit more than it would without the heirloom stuff on. I am still not gaining any benefits from that, but that's what it means. So I'll be running out of rested XP in a bit. You actually only lose rested XP, or you use rested XP by killing creatures, not actually by completing quests. So when you complete a quest, it'll actually shove that rested XP amount left forward. You only gain benefits from rested XP from killing monsters. So alright, so we completed these quests out here. We were able to level up again. We're level 13 now. And we got a new move. This move is actually going to be a resurrection. Obviously really helpful. Let's say you're in a dungeon or something, and one of your teammates falls over and dies like an idiot. Just kidding. And you finish the fight. You can't use this in combat, right? Yeah, can it be cast when in combat? Some you can, but I don't know if this class has one or not. Now, you can use this after combat though. If one of your teammates does die, go ahead and bring them back up and ridicule them for standing in something they shouldn't have been at during the fight. So that's exciting stuff. Not really going to make much use out of that during this playthrough, but we'll try. We'll see what happens. Gonna go ahead and turn in this quest here. Got some new bracers. And now, dang, they want me to go to the training hall in Stormwind. Apparently one of those quests I just did was a shaman quest and didn't even realize that. There are certain class quests that you can do in this game. So they want us to go all the way up here. First we're going to, oops. Open our spec. We got a new talent. This is where I'm sure we're going to end up taking both of these, but this is where you kind of start to get to really pick how you want to play this class differently. So we have two choices here. We have Wind Fury Weapon and we have Lava Lash. Both are new moves or spells that we can do. So let's read them together. So Wind Fury Weapon, it'd be your main hand weapon with the element of wind for 60 minutes. Very similar to our Flame Tongue weapon down here. So what it does is each main hand weapon has a 25% chance to trigger 2 extra attacks, dealing 12 physical damage each. It's massive. It's actually a really good move right there. And then we have Lava Lash. Charges your offhand weapon with lava and burns your target, dealing 42 fire damage. Damage is increased by 100% if your offhand weapon is imbued with Flame Tongue weapon. So as you can see now, we already have Flame Tongue. And we do keep it on, right? I mean, we pretty much always have Flame Tongue on. Yep, and you can see right there, Flame Tongue, 60 minutes on our offhand weapon. And I don't think I realized that it only did it on the offhand. It's kind of funny. What if I switch on that and then do it? Yeah, you can do both. Why doesn't it do both automatically? Whatever. So, if we want to keep using Flame Tongue, we get Lava Lash, where Lava Lash becomes an 18-second cooldown with a massive damage output. Versus using this, where we have a chance, a 25% chance per attack with our weapon to do an extra 24 damage, essentially. Which is great, and that's each hand, so about an extra 48 damage that can happen at any time. I'm actually going to take Lava Lash. I'd rather go this route. I think this lunge would be really nice to have, which comes off that, but I could always go this way. Improved Maelstrom weapon now increases damage or healing of spells it affects by 10% per stack. Yeah, I'm gonna go that route. I'm gonna go Lava Lash. I'm gonna go Lava Lash. How about that? That sounds more fun to me. I'm gonna take this. I'm actually gonna put it here and move this over here. Yeah, that works for me. Fun stuff. All right, we're going to fast forward a bit and head to our next spot. Okay, we made it. You'll never know, but I just cut out about 15 plus minutes of me running the wrong direction 3 different times because, and I cannot stress this enough, read the quest log, because then you don't look stupid like me and run in the wrong direction forever when the quest log for this fucking quest literally says board Mathil's flying machine at the Gold Balar quarry. I went back here. I ran all the way up here. I said shit, I went the wrong way and flew back here. I ran all the way up here. Said shit, this isn't the right way either. Ran back here and then read the quest and realized the motherfucker's been here the whole time. So let's fly. Alright, so we finally made it. Sorry for the noise. We finally made it. We are going over here to talk to this idiot and continue on with our questing. We are level 13. We're about halfway through what we were wanting to get due tonight. Making good progress here. So why stop now? Alright, so we've completed what seems to be all of the quest in Dunmoreau. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do this last quest here and go to Ironforge. I'm assuming this quest will get us to level 14. And then at level 14, I think what I'll do is I'll go ahead and run a random dungeon, which right now I'm assuming I can do that. Yeah, random dungeon. Battle for Azeroth. Ugh. So we're going to run a random Battle for Azeroth dungeon together. As you can see, it offers 10,000 XP experience just for finishing it. Dungeoning is a huge and totally acceptable way to get your characters to max level as fast as possible. And I will show you exactly what I mean by that once we finish up this Ironforge quest. Alright, so we are back in Ironforge. We're gonna go ahead and mount up. What we're planning on doing here is going right over here to the high seat to talk to the king and let him know what we've done in Dunmarome and see what he has to offer us following that. What do you want? He wants us to go to the next spot. Makes sense. We're going to talk to the Dark Iron representative here.
The Dark Irons will claim the rightful place in this world.
That is impossible.
The three hammers.
And as expected, we are now level 14. With just the worst possible power to come at level 14. I mean, it's just what a waste of a power, honestly.
I just miss you. Well, I'm listening.
Arrest Ambassador Slaghammer and bring him to the high seat. Awesome. So let's go find Slaghammer and do some swift justice. Alright, so we've now finished all the quests available to us in Dunmarome. And the next step would be to go from where we were here straight over here. You'll see reinforcements for Lokmadan. Lokmadan is the next questing zone that we're going to be getting into. This is the very next part of this questing experience. In the meantime, what I'd love to do is go ahead and take a step back from questing for a moment and jump right into a dungeon finder. Let's go ahead and queue up. Let's get into a dungeon and let's see what the difference is between questing and dungeoning in terms of getting yourself to the max level. As you can see, what I did is I opened my group finder right down here. It opens the dungeon finder automatically. You won't have access to these until max level or level 50 for pre-made groups. It's automatically going to have random dungeons set up for you. I don't know if it'll look the same as this, if it'll be the Battle for Azeroth automatically. I'm not sure. But that's what it is for me. Once you pick your role, so I can either be a healer or a DPS, I am a DPS. So once I pick my role, I hit join queue. And you can see right down here, you joined a queue for an activity. Group finder queue information appears in this location. I'm going to scroll over it. Looks like average wait time for a queue is about 9 minutes. So I'm not going to sit here for 9 minutes in silence and hope that it pops. I'll see you as soon as it pops. Alright, so we've got a queue pop, which means it's time for a dungeon. And it's a Tal Dazar, of course. Not a huge fan of this one. I've done this so many times in Mythic at one point last, I think in Shadowlands. I can't remember, but it's a little rough. But honestly, of all the things to get, it's not the worst one by a long shot. And they're not starting at the dinosaur, which is interesting. Alright, so dungeons are pretty straightforward. They're all going to roughly look like this, be set up like this. Trying to figure out exactly what's going on here. Do we have a tank? Okay. Alright, so dungeons, the idea is to go forward through the entire thing. You're usually just killing what we call trash, which are just mobs of non-boss enemies. And from there, we're actually going to be fighting a boss, usually 3-4 bosses. You can see on the right here, there's 4 bosses in this one. Oh no, I'm a polymorph. This thing kind of sucks. If people don't know what they're doing. Hopefully these guys know what they're doing. Idea behind this is you want to destroy these totems ASAP, as you can't really do anything to the boss until they're dead. Good. The only thing that really sucks about him is he leaves this constant trail of like venom. So I'm going to try and use a defensive cooldown to take away some of that pain. This is a really big like kind of like heal test for the healer, because a lot of the times there's not a lot you can do about the damage that your whole party's getting. Probably pull everything before the boss, but once again we're normal, so I'm not super worried about it. Ow. Oof. Lots of stuff getting pulled in right now. Fear. Tank is gonna die. I'm gonna heal him actually. Okay. I don't have a stun yet, which is interesting. Or kick, but maybe soon. Alright, that boss is dead. Look, we got some gear. We got some really nice wrists, actually.
Thanks for killing the priestess. You have only succeeded in strengthening my hold on.
Let's go, guys. Boss is kind of annoying, but not necessarily difficult. What you should do in Mythic is tank him in a corner, because he'll do a big fear, which can pull any of these things on the ground if they're alive, and he can chomp. It's a mess. And, you know, I know he's not going to actually tank him correctly, but look, this right here, you got to hide, where you get big feared. And you can pull any of these piles of bones on the ground just by walking over them just like that. So, you got to make sure that you're doing it right. I'm not. I didn't. For the sake of learning, I wanted to just see it. I'll go ahead and help kill these, because these can get overwhelming if you let them. I'm gonna die here, probably. Get myself really quick. I'm gonna try and hide. Nope. Failed that time. Lightning bolt. Bah. Like I said, kind of a bitch of a boss, but not the worst one for sure.
Man was a powerful lord.
It it can definitely be worse.
Sacrifice for you. That lived to see it.
Alright, let's kill this final boss. You've seen essentially the entirety of a dungeon already at this point. This boss is fairly simple. Once she rips your soul, you gotta kill it. I should have been farther away from her before that, but that's okay. Once again, we're in normal, so nothing too much to worry about here. So not a lot you can do about the spiders. You just want to avoid them. You don't want to be stepping on them and stuff. They will explode like that and drop big puddles in the party. And people will just stand in them and boom. I don't know why I'm getting a... I guess maybe we do wear plate eventually. No, we're shamans. We wear mail. But yeah, that's it. We're done. And you can see from that one fight, we're not only level 15 now, we're 15 and a half. We got a level and a half from that. But anyway, that's it. That is as simple as it is. Once you're finished, this guy is offering up this trinket, which is really nice. Although I don't think anybody else in here can use it. Yeah, that's it. I'm going to go ahead and what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click my portrait. I'm going to leave instance group. And they can have a great rest of their day. Easiest way to put it, the fastest way to level 250 is probably dungeoning with some quests here and there. Like because I'm playing a DPS, it's about a 10-minute queue for everything. So instead of standing around for those 10 minutes, I'll do some quests between. But ultimately, that's it. I mean, that's as easy as it gets, and that's an easier dungeon, I think, in terms of length and in terms of like the actual bosses being difficult. But it's you know, that's the process. 4 bosses, trash, loot stuff, get yourself a level and a half. But we made it to the end. We are level 15 now, and as you can see, when we hit level 15, we did get another talent point. So we're gonna go ahead and put those in because I have another one from before that I did not slot as well. So we're gonna go ahead and start on the left side here. I got my Frost Shock, I've got my Flurry. We did unlock some new stuff here. It's a Purge, so purges the enemy target removing beneficial magical effects, or purges the enemy target removing 1 beneficial magic effect. So those are the biggest difference here is mana cost. Do you want to use more mana to purge more magical effects? I'm not going to take Purge at all. Let's see. This one you can cast Cleanse Spirit, Wind Shear, Purge, and Totems from Ghost Wolf, which is cool. I'll have most of that unlocked right now, so I'm probably going to not do that right away. I think what I may do is I may go... Yeah. Let's go with this one. Give us a little bit more max health. That one sounds cool. Over here, I'm looking at a few good things. This one improves our Lava Lash. Lava Lash cooldown reduced by 3 seconds, and if Lava Lash is used against a target affected by your Flame Shock will be spread up to 2 enemies. So this is really synergizing with 2 things. Flame Tongue Weapon and Flame Shock. So we know hitting this while Flame Tongue Weapon is active increases its damage by 100%, and if the target has Flame Shock applied to it while we hit him with this same thing, it spreads that Flame Shock to other targets. Henceforth, when we hit those new targets with Lava Lash as well, then they're also going to be able to spread it and get affected, you know, the same way. So that's really cool. That's a good way to play it. It kind of leads into Fire Nova, which is really good, but it also has Hailstorm. which is each stack of Maelstrom weapon consumed increases the damage of your next Frost Shock by 15% and cause your next Frost Shock to hit 1 additional target per Maelstrom weapon stack. So you can hit up to 4 or 5 targets with 1 Frost Shock just by playing your game, doing what you're already doing. This one, eruptive burst of fiery damage from all targets afflicted by your flame shock. That's really nice with that lava burst flow there. And so everything affected by flame shock, it deals 37 damage to them up to 6 targets within 8 yards of your flame shock targets. That's wild. Everything gets hit. Fire Nova is huge. It's only a 15-second cooldown. This path is great. We also have this path, which we can take as well, but I think for the time being, I'm going to go down this one and give us some more fun, and then come back down this one. We'll have to get, you see 6 total points, or 6 more points put in here before we can get to these next tiers. So this is going to be 1, 2, 3, and this is going to be 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to start over on this side, get my first point in Molten Assault, and you can see the second point I put in there reduces the cooldown by 6 seconds, making it only a 12-second cooldown for Lava Lash. And then it'll also spread up to 4 enemy targets near the target, which is excellent. So that's definitely the way I'm going here. I think this is a really cool class so far. Actually, I'm enjoying like I said, the way I can play it. Like, I'm playing the class as intended, and all of my moves are working together. I love that. I love how that all works out. I'm going to move Lava Lash up front as my main move, and I'm going to move Flame Shock here. I'm going to move Lightning Bolt here. No, I'm not. I'm going to keep Lightning Bolt here, because I want to be up close and fighting, and all these I can do that with. Lightning Bolt, I can tell already, is more of a filler, because these do have big cooldowns, and I don't need to cast these over and over again. Yeah, so that's the way I'm going to do it for now. Let me go ahead and get my shield on, get both of my weapons imbued. I think it's a little silly that you have to do it this way, but it works, and so I'm going with it. Yeah, for now, I'm going to call it there. We're going to say next video, we're going to be jumping 15 to 20. Try and continue keeping it as brief as possible, giving as much information as possible without wasting too much of your time, but this is fun. I'm actually really excited to see how Enhancement Shamans really work. I think they've been a lot more fun for me than Elemental Shamans have been in the past. I will talk about soon, once we start getting the gear that really has it on there. I'll start talking about primary and secondary stats, what they affect, how to focus on them, and as well as mastery and what it is. But for now, we'll leave it there. Next time, we'll continue questing in Lok Medan, and then end it as well by running another dungeon together. For now, though, I appreciate y'all hanging out, and until next time, bye.